A house full of surprises. A gentle breeze stirred the palm trees lining the driveway of a modern mansion in Malibu. Perched on a hillside with sweeping ocean views, the property was as exclusive as it was expensive. Standing out front, Realtor Madison Burke smoothed the lapels of her tailored blazer, casting one last glance at her reflection in the glass door. She specialized in ultra-high-end properties, fully expecting her clients to arrive in flashy luxury cars, wearing designer clothing from head to toe. Today, however, the vehicle that pulled up was an older SUV with a light film of dust on its exterior. Madison's eyebrows twitched upward, revealing a flicker of disapproval. "This can't be my client, can it?" she wondered. When the driver's door opened, out stepped a tall woman dressed in casual leggings, a simple t-shirt, and sneakers that had clearly seen better days. She reached back into the car for a baseball cap, sliding it on in a relaxed manner that suggested she might be heading for a quick coffee run rather than touring a multi-million-dollar home. Summoning a polite but firm smile, Madison approached her. "Good afternoon," she said crisply. "Are you here for the private viewing?" The woman offered an easy, radiant smile in return. "Yes," she replied. "I'm Taylor. I'm here to see the house." Madison, while noting the newcomer's unassuming attire, failed to register the significance of the name. Instead, her mind was busy ticking off mental boxes about what a serious buyer was supposed to look like. This woman did not appear to check those boxes. "All right," Madison said, her tone edged with condescension. "This is one of our top-tier listings. Shall we head inside?" She waved Taylor forward, silently deciding that this potential buyer was likely in over her head. A less-than-grand entrance. The foyer opened onto lofty ceilings and a sweeping view of the Pacific. Madison launched into her polished speech, gesturing theatrically at the imported marble floors and custom wood paneling. She had shown this property to many clients, many of whom gasped in awe upon arrival, but Taylor simply surveyed it all with a calm, thoughtful demeanor. Bending down, Taylor tapped where the marble met the baseboards, assessing the joinery. "Nicely finished," she observed. "Is there anything special in the way of insulation for coastal humidity?" Madison suppressed a sigh. "These features," she replied, "are designed for an elite clientele that usually isn't concerned with such technical details." She then guided Taylor into the living room, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the azure waves of the ocean. "This, of course," Madison announced, sweeping her arm, "is where you wow your guests. Charity functions, high-profile soirees. It's the kind of setting that demands a certain caliber of owner." She aimed a pointed look at Taylor, expecting her to be overwhelmed. Instead, Taylor only offered a soft nod. "Great view," she said softly. "I could see people really loving to spend time here." Kitchen tensions. They stepped into a sprawling, chef-inspired kitchen, replete with bespoke cabinetry and high-end appliances. Madison's expression brightened. This was usually where wealthy buyers revealed genuine excitement. "Behold," she proclaimed, "custom Italian marble countertops and a commercial-grade range. It's quite the investment, especially for those who love to entertain." Taylor ran her fingertips across the marble's polished edge. "Beautiful," she murmured. "Has it been sealed against stains? Marble can be temperamental with, say, lemon juice or red wine." A hint of annoyance flickered across Madison's face. "People who purchase homes like this," she replied, "often have staff to handle day-to-day maintenance. It's rarely a concern for them." Taylor just gave a small, polite smile. Understood. The clashing perspectives room. By room, Madison's patience seemed to fray. Taylor asked about ventilation, window hardware, and subtle features like door seals, while Madison steadfastly highlighted the flashy design meant to impress high-end guests. Eventually, in an upstairs study with floor-to-ceiling glass, Madison folded her arms across her blazer. Let me be direct, she said, her tone pointed. This property targets a very select type of buyer, someone positioned at the peak of success. The price is far above what most can manage. Taylor paused in her inspection of the built-in shelves, then turned around, meeting Madison's gaze. So, she said gently, you're worried I can't afford it. A slight blush spread across Madison's cheeks. It's just, some people like to see luxurious homes, but never intend to buy, she said, trying to maintain professionalism. I hope you understand. My time is valuable. Taylor raised her hands lightly in a placating gesture. I understand. All I can say is, if I find a place that suits me, I'm absolutely willing to finalize. Still unconvinced, Madison led her through the master suite, which opened onto a private terrace facing the ocean. Owners here typically host exclusive gatherings, cocktail parties, album release events, anything that draws a certain crowd. Does that match your lifestyle at all? She asked, the skepticism in her voice as clear as day. Leaning against the terrace rail, Taylor took in the breeze for a moment before responding. I love having friends over, she said with a wry smile, but it's more about playing music or just chatting. I'm not really about showy events for show's sake. Madison's practiced smile slid into something more akin to a patronizing smirk. Sure, she murmured, the revelation. After completing the tour, they returned to the foyer. Just then, the front door swung open, and Mr. Connolly, Madison's boss, strode in. His eyes lit up when he spotted Taylor. Miss Swift, he exclaimed, walking briskly across the marble to offer a handshake. It's wonderful to have you here. Madison, I see you've had the pleasure of showing Miss Swift around. Madison froze, eyes snapping to Taylor with dawning realization. Swift, she repeated, voice going thin. Taylor Swift, the chart-topping singer-songwriter, beloved globally for her music, authenticity, and generosity. Taylor offered the same friendly smile that she had throughout the tour. Yes, she confirmed, Taylor Swift. I asked Mr. Connolly not to mention who I am. It changes how people interact, and I wanted an honest perspective. All the color drained from Madison's face. She remembered every dismissive remark and half-veiled insult she had uttered during their walkthrough. I had no idea, she stammered, voice trembling. I'm so sorry. I never meant... Taylor raised a hand gently, signaling that Madison could stop. It's fine not to know who I am, she said quietly, but respect shouldn't hinge on whether someone's famous. Realizing the lesson, trying to avert further embarrassment, Mr. Connolly cleared his throat. Shall we wrap up the final details, Ms. Swift? Everything's ready in the office. Taylor nodded amiably. Then she turned back to Madison with a gentle expression. I'm sure you're great at your job, she said, but I hope this experience reminds both of us that anyone walking through the door deserves kindness. Madison swallowed hard, heat flaring in her cheeks. Truly, I am sorry, she repeated, shame coursing through her. Taylor offered a small, forgiving smile. We all get carried away sometimes, she said. Thank you for the tour, Madison. A quiet departure. Mr. Connolly and Taylor slipped into the manager's office to finalize paperwork, while Madison lingered by the tall windows. She overheard Taylor mention how much she loved the home's open layout, perfect for jamming with friends, and the idea of writing new songs while overlooking the ocean. Madison realized with a sinking feeling just how badly she had misread her client by focusing solely on wealth and ostentation. Soon after, signatures were exchanged. Taylor Swift gave Mr. Connolly a hearty handshake and then stepped over to Madison one final time, her voice calm and reassuring. Thank you, she said softly, for showing me around. I hope if I purchase the place, you'll stop by and see how it can be a real home rather than just another showy space. Madison managed the faintest of nods, her composure returning slowly. I'd like that, she said quietly. With a parting wave, Taylor slipped back out to her dusty SUV, likely to turn up her own music and reflect on the day's events. Madison stood rooted to the spot, flooded with uncomfortable yet invaluable insight. In that moment, she realized how appearances can be deceiving and how easily respect can be lost when people do not seem to match preconceived notions. Going forward, she promised herself never again to judge a client by outward trappings. Sometimes genuine kindness and quiet confidence trump any designer label or status symbol. And Taylor Swift, she mused, was living proof that grace often shows up where we least expect it. If you liked the video, subscribe and share with your friends. Have a nice day.